Welcome to Christ After Dark. I am your host. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Here at Christ After Dark, we focus on practical theology to deal with everyday approaches to life. And today our focus is on anxiety, fear, doubt, worry, and how to attack those thoughts, how to defend yourself from those thoughts that come to your mind on a daily basis, an hourly basis, and for some people, second by second. You know, I won't lie to you. At first, when I met Jesus, I had a completely different view of what I thought the Christian life would be. I thought it would be all sunshine and roses, but it's quite the opposite. And I know a lot of you relate to this. It's a war. It's a battlefield. And that battle takes place in your mind. So tell me if this sounds familiar. It's 6 a.m. and you're just waking up. You're grateful for another day. You're grateful that the Lord has given you another chance. And before you even get to pray, boom, those thoughts from yesterday start to creep back up into your mind. And that battle can take place at any time, in any moment of the day. I mean, the enemy is like a ninja, silent, creeping, waiting until you're the most vulnerable before he attacks you. And as Christians, we need to be ready for that. We need to be prepared, aware, alert, always having our defenses up. And most importantly, we need to be reliant, submissive, and lenient on Jesus. Because apart from him, we can do nothing. As it says in John 15, verses 4 through 5, remain in me, as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me, and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Now, some of you may be asking, but I see so many people that don't serve Christ and they prosper. Well, that's why you have to read the scriptures carefully, right? You, my friend, were chosen by Christ. As it reads in John 15, verse 16, you did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. And so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. So when we go back to John 15, verse 4 through 5, and Jesus specifically says, apart from me, you can do nothing. He's talking specifically about you, his chosen elect, from whom he predestined. I know that might not seem fair, but the Christian life isn't fair. It's a test. It is a calling. And we need to be ready to answer that call at any given moment, at any waking moment of our lives. But fear not, for we serve a high priest, King Jesus, who loves us dearly and will never leave us nor forsake us, as it reads in Hebrews 13, verse 5. And also, I have good news for you guys. Christ has left us so many keys and answers in the Bible to help us deal with our everyday issues. And today I'm going to share with you several scriptures to help us deal with those attacks that happen randomly throughout the day. What I love about the Bible is that when you read the Bible a certain way, you put certain scriptures together, you get a message. And the scriptures that I'm going to be sharing with you today, once you piece them together, it's as if you read a letter, a personal letter that is written for you and for me. The first scripture that we're going to start with is one that most of you are familiar of. But if you're new to the Christian walk, I pray that this scripture alone fills you, gives you joy and hope. And that scripture is Proverbs 3 verses 5 through 6. As it reads, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." Now let's break this scripture down a little bit. Verse 5, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your understanding." Now, what does this tell us? It lets us know that a big reason why we bear so much stress is because of our own understanding of things. We try to figure everything out ourselves and replace God in a way by wanting control over everything. But we are to be lenient on Christ for every breath we take, for every waking moment of our lives. That's why it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, right? Kind of like when we were children and our parents would take us somewhere that we've never been before. It didn't matter to us because we felt safe in the presence of our father or our mother. Well, in the presence of the Lord, how much more safe should you feel in regards to your everyday needs, right? So stop trying to figure everything out and take things a day at a time. But there's a caveat that the Lord leaves us with in this scripture. In verse 6, "In all your ways submit to him," right? Submit to him. What does that mean? Obedience, following his decrees and his precepts, walking righteously, abiding in him, as we read earlier in scripture, drawing near to him, doing the right things, understanding that when you're alone, you're never really alone. Christ is always watching you, and he rewards you for the righteous things that you do in secret, right? After that, it goes on to say that he will make your path straight. Why is that good news? Because it relieves us of the burden of trying to do everything ourselves. Now, in this video, we're going to be going deep into scripture, but trust me, you're going to want to stick until the end to see how these scriptures piece themselves together and leave us with a remarkable message. The next scripture we're going to be reading out of is Isaiah 43, verses 18 through 19. As it reads, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." Now there are so many connections between Isaiah 43 verses 18 through 19 and Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6. Let's make those connections now. As it reads in Isaiah 43 verse 18, it says, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past." That connects directly to Proverbs 3 verses 5, where it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." How does that make a connection? because it is our own understanding that causes us to dwell on the past. It is that self-reliance that we have naturally as humans that causes us to dwell on the past, which causes stress, right? That is why we are not to lean on our own understanding, but to be completely reliant on Jesus for everything. It reads in verses 19 of Isaiah 43, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." Connecting that to Proverbs 3 verse 6, it says, "In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." Right? So in making your path straight, he is making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Now, you may not live in the wilderness or in the wasteland, but you have to read the scriptures in a way where you connect them to your everyday life. Wilderness, wasteland, those are representations for when life seems dry, for when you feel alone, for when things don't make sense, for when you feel lost. Try getting out of a wilderness with no map. Try finding food in a wasteland. Not likely. But with Jesus, who will never leave us nor forsake us, those things are possible because he does everything for our good. The next scripture we're going to be going over is Philippians 4 verse 6. As it reads, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Do you see the connection that we're making here between these scriptures? Back in Proverbs 3 verse 5, it reads, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." What better way is there to not be anxious about anything than to not lean on your own understanding? When it reads, "but in every situation," this leads me to think of the character of our God, how much care he has for us. He wants to fight our battles for us. He doesn't want us to worry about anything, and he wants us to have the right mindset and approach to the circumstances that may be causing us to have anxiety. That's why it goes on to say, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. It's almost impossible for Christians to have anxiety while being grateful for the work that God is doing for them currently in their lives. Because God will never leave us nor forsake us, you can be grateful today for the work that God is doing for you tomorrow. He is consistent. He is the same God yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And you can confidently present your request to God because it reads in Isaiah 43, verse 19, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." This is because God already knows your needs. He knows your requests before you even make them. He knows the desires of your heart. As a matter of fact, it reads in Psalm 139 verse 16, "Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." Wow, that means every single day of your life was already written. Before your conception, before you were even born, God knew you, and he knew the plans that he had for you. And that brings us to the next scripture that we will be covering, which is Jeremiah 29 verse 11. As it reads, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." At this point in the Bible study, if this video has encouraged you, inspired you, or helped you in any way, Or if you may know someone who may benefit from this, please share this with a friend, leave a like, and leave a comment. Your feedback is important to me. The last scripture we will be covering is Isaiah 55, verses 8 through 9, as it reads, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." How blessed are we that the Creator of the universe would be mindful of us and leave us with a message like this. I feel that all the scripture that we cover today are equally important, but if I had to choose one, it would be this one, because God makes it very clear that your thoughts are not His thoughts, neither your ways are His ways. We can never figure out what God has planned for us next by ourselves. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are His ways higher than your ways, and His thoughts higher than your thoughts. In this scripture, the Lord is instructing you, my friend, to relax and to rest in Him. So let us read these scriptures as a whole and see how they mesh perfectly together. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. After reading these scriptures carefully, you can clearly see that the Lord wants to take care of you like a father wants to take care of his child. And in return, He wants you to trust in Him like a child trusts their father. So forget all your burdens. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and don't lean on your own understanding. Present all your requests to God with thanksgiving. You don't have to figure everything out by yourself. Please leave a comment and let me know which verse touched you the most. This is the Christ After Dark channel. Until next time.